Hey guys, so I want to go over this unit here. Came in today. Uh, I kind of already know what's wrong with it, but I'm going to do a little kind of what you would do to diagnose. It could be a MacBook. This is an iMac. It could be a MacBook, anything like that. Computer's not is booting up. You're you're getting the Apple logo stuck on the Apple logo, the loading logo, or it starts and it just goes into a black screen. Any of those scenarios where you're not getting like an error or anything like that. It's not restarting. It just never gets to the desktop. 8 out of 10 times, specifically on these iMacs that came with just regular conventional, I think Hitachi drives. Most of the time, it's a hard drive problem, but it could be anything else. So what we did here, the first thing you need to do is you want to boot from an external disk. Now you might not have that, but I'm just giving you the what we do over here. Actually, I got one back. Can you see it back here? Maybe not. So we have back here and we just keep these right, in stock. So this here is an SSD with probably Capitan or something on it. Doesn't matter. It could be Capitan, Sierra, what have you. So we're gonna boot to that because the boot for the hard drive wouldn't boot to the desktop. That's what we got here. So we got we got an iMac A1418 2014, and the problem is does not get to the desktop, does not load to the desktop. What happened here? I forgot my password. So get yourself another hard drive with Mac OS. If you have a Mac, make yourself one. So right off of the bat, when I get to this desktop, it already telling me OS 10 cannot repair the disk. Right, the disk over here. If we go Macintosh HD, that's the hard drive on the unit. This Mac Tech SSD is the one that we're booting from. This one, I mean, I have it with tools and things like that because it's basically a diagnostic disk that we're going to be using to check the computers. So let's say you didn't have that. You want to come in here. First of all, we were going to do a backup on this, and it gave us a problem because when we went to do the backup and we came to the folders. No, I don't want to do that. Let's go. Came to the user folders to just basically do it, transfer the files over. First of all, they're locked because of the password, but I have a video on how to get past that. So if you're doing this and you're getting that little red dot there, I have a video how to get around that. So I'm going to do it briefly here, but I'm not really showing you how to do it. So we go to get info. We're going to unlock little padlock down here at the bottom right. There you go. Can't unlock it. Oh, there you go. Okay, got it. So it lets you unlock it. But normally, I don't know if you're not going to be able to see that on this video. Over here at the bottom left of that box, you have a plus and a minus. You're supposed to be able to click that plus and then add yourself as a user for the files, or grant yourself access to the files. And in this case, you just can't do it. So those files or the drive has some type of corruption that we cannot access the data to copy it over. So that was a challenge. We were able to do it with carbon copy cloner. So we have that on this Tech SSD, and we were able to carbon copy cloner actually copied it over. Okay, so we got the data over, which is the first thing you want to do if you have something you don't want to take a risk before you try, correcting the drive or anything like that. We got the data over. Then you just want to go to this utility and see if it could repair the drive with your first aid. And we tried that already, and it gave us an error, right? First aid could not be completed. There's some third-party software as far as repairing drives and things like that. In this case, the drive itself gave us some smart errors, and we just basically are just going to replace the drive. So as far as checking the drive, I would try a Drive DX, which actually I have it here. Let me go with Drive DX. Yeah, let me just show you that. Let's run Drive DX. So if you can see that the Drive DX gives us a failing status on the Smart. It gives us a percentage of 84, which is not terrible, but we do got failing indicators. So it just doesn't make sense to, theoretically you could probably try to format the drive, continue using it, but it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's a conventional drive. Better thing to do is just upgrade it to an SSD and avoid these problems. I've had a few of these that initially when they came in, they were giving me a 90% in those ranges with some warnings, and I gave the customer the option of reformatting and reinstalling the operating system, because the hard drive is not 100% failure. It's just showing some failing indications. So really it's a matter of a financial decision, if you want to give it a shot and see how long it lasts or if it performs well. And what I've found is every time it, sooner or later, whether it be 6 months or 8 months, they generally don't go past a year, that the drive winds up failing and it's back here, and then we wind up replacing it with a solid state. So whenever I'm having any of these problems like this that kind of have the same scenario, the computer's been getting slow, the hard drive fails, disk utility can't repair it, forget about it, replace the drive. So that's what we're doing. We did the backup. We're gonna go to drive replacement. We're gonna do a video on this. These are the new modern ones that are glued, and it's gonna be a little job taking this off, and that's what's coming next. Actually, I was gonna test the camera before I did that, so let's do that. Right, yeah, because we had checked this unit, make sure everything was working, but the camera was one of the things that hadn't been checked, so I do want to check that. It's working. Terrible cameras on these computers. Test 1 2 3 4 5. 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 All right, so everything's working, and we're gonna get cranking on the hard drive replacement. Okay, so here we go. You can see these LCDs in glass. They're glued. They have a foam double-sided tape. You need to get yourself one of these. If you buy the adhesive, it's going to come with it. Get the one that comes with the little cutter, little pizza cutter. This is plastic, and it's made for it. You just get it in there, and you're just going to go through. You're not peeling off the tape. You're just cutting it. It's a little foam, double-sided, tape on the sides, so it basically cuts through the foam. Take your time with it. And just go nice and smoothly all the way around. Don't force it. There you go. I like to put something here so this doesn't move around too much, especially if I'm pushing down. I don't want this all over the place. They make a device that you put back here and it holds it, so if you got one of those, good for you. The area you want to just be a little cautious with is the camera area there. So kind of just skip around it and then get back to it. Wow, this one's going through pretty quick. When you work on these screens, you know, give them a good inspection. Make sure they don't have any cracks or anything. Because if they do, one is, if it's a customer, you want to advise them, you know, that there's a risk that it's going to break. And you don't want that on your, you know, responsibility. And then at the same time, you just be way more careful. I've opened some up that have like a little chip. Remember one that had a little, not a crack, but a little chip in the glass. We were real careful with it, and it worked out. So this whole side is good, except there's some little area here. You know, just keep going with it. Just make sure it's all smooth. And with this little device, it's going to stop. You know, it's not going to go in too deep. That's why you really need this little guy. It's going to stop right there. If you're doing it by hand, you're going to just kind of go in there and, you know, who knows, if you don't have something to give you a kind of a measured distance of penetration there. Now, frankly, I like to work on this on a lower bench, but my other bench is pretty full. And then this is a small one, so it's not too bad. Should be okay with it. Feels like it's pretty separated already. This has on the other side another little thin spatula-like head. Alright, so you can see it's already separating. So the bottom is still going to have tape. Right? There's a tape along the bottom that when it opens up, it's still going to kind of be there. So when you start opening it, take a peek on the sides because you're going to have some strands of the tape that kind of still hanging in there. The lighting here is killing me. I can't see jack. So as you can see, this is pretty well separated. Exactly. You got some strands up here. And remember, you can't just open it. We got a couple of flexes right here, so you can't just open the thing wide open, because then you'll have a problem. You got one strand there. Basically, that's the tape that kind of is not completely cut, so it still has like that little. Okay, so we're pretty good there. These flexes give you, they give you some room to play, so it's not like only, right there we still got room. It gives you a few inches of play to open. Now you can try it this way, or you can lay it down and pop it off the other way. You can lay it down and face up, or you could try it this way. I normally try it this way. Let's go the other way. I normally do it that way. Last time I tried the lie down method, and it actually, I think it worked better. Let's try it. You're not going to be able to see this. If I can get in there. Exactly. So, pop it up. Yeah, it is easier like this. You got one flex for the LCD. You're gonna just pull that one right off. Has a little latch, and then the other one just comes off straight out as well. That one was a little more difficult. Click. The lighting here is terrible. There you go. Two little clicks on the sides, and it's up. So here you're still going to have, the bottom is still going to have that tape. That one you just got to peel off. Look at that. Well, this feels super tight. Yeah, luckily this little one, you can manhandle it pretty well. Yeah, this has a lot of pressure. I don't know why. It's already completely loose, but it's giving me the bottom one. You're gonna have like these two little tabs sticking up, and that's what's the bottom tape is. See if we can, where's my box? So if you can grab those and you pull them off, you're gonna see this little tab. This little there's a little tab sticking out. You grab that, and that's going to allow you to pull the bottom tape that's holding it down. It's in two parts, so it's going to split in the middle. Make sure you're holding this well, or if you have it leaned on something like this is okay as well. This is probably not a great scenario. So once that one is loose, then this is just going to come right off. Make sure you don't bang this. Move this over to a safe area. And we got the hard drive right here. Six or eight screws holding that in place. T10. Let's see. If we can just change it without. These are good drives. These are these Hitachis. But regardless, still a mechanical drive. They still fail. Well, all drives fail, but at least the mechanical drive, you have that wear and tear from the spinning disc and the heads and all that good stuff. Let's see if we can pop this off. We should be able to without moving anything else out of place. This is going to pop out, and yeah, we should be able to. This is like a little rubber that kind of just holds it in place. Shock absorber. And I don't know if we're going to be able to or not without moving the speaker, because the connector is right behind it. We're going to try. If not, then we've got to move that speaker out of the way. As far as taking it off, we're gonna be able to take it off, but putting it back on there might be a little more difficult. Western Digital 500 gig SSD. We're going to do the same little thing here. Put the other one on the other side. This is not going to need shock absorbing. And let's see if we can get it in there without. We probably could. See how good we are. Might be able to do it. Actually, I'm going to do it without this to give it more flexibility and then try to put it on afterwards. Could we put it on? Probably good. Try to hold it from pushing back. And if we can get that in there, maybe, maybe not. Yeah, you can do it. It's already 3/4 of the way. Gotta backstop it here and push it a little further in. Yeah, so that's the way. Just kind of pry it into place because it's right there. And then since it's in, then we could get these guys into place. Can we get these guys into place? You really don't need these guys anyways, but let's put them in so it looks good. That little guy right there, that little guy right there. So that's that. While it's here, you want to blow this thing out. So cover your ears. So next you gotta clean up the adhesive. Should come right off. If you can just grab it, you should be able to just pull the whole thread right off. Make sure it's nice and clean so that the other one sits nice on top, even down here. Make sure this is clean. You don't want to have anything back there, piece of glass, anything that's gonna make that glass not sit right. this one's not coming off as easy. That's usually how it goes. So there's going to be one that's a pain. Try the other side. Yeah, so it's good except on these areas here with these antennas. That's where it's kind of wide, so just kind of breaking off. See if we can grab the whole width of it. Like right here, it's not clean. Pretty clean, but little bit there. That's how it goes. When you film something, that's when it comes out a little weird. Oh, there you go. So we're talking clean. Yeah, you just rub it back. You're gonna do the same thing on the screen that I put over there in the safe area. You're gonna go through that one and do the same thing. Make sure it's clean. It's gonna have the same thing. It's gonna have the other side of this foam tape. That baby is clean. I'm gonna go over and clean the glass. I'll do a quick shot with the phone, but that's pretty simple stuff. Actually, let's throw up tape here. Back. You do want to buy these when you're gonna do this job. Granted, you could probably just put some double-sided tape, but these are fairly inexpensive, so I recommend you do these. We're going right side, top, left side. ant. Got an ant in there. What the heck? And then the last one. These are kind of backwards. The colors are. We're peeling the red. Okay. And that's usually what happens. Well, they're both the same size. So I'm going to go backwards on these. If they're both the same size. So I'm going to go from the center. Right, so these are the ones still things stays sticking out. Which one is going to peel off here? Yeah, the back. Yep. All right, so you got it all laid out. Press them down, make sure they're, got them good adherence on this side. That's it. What we're going to do is we're going to clean the glass, the adhesive on the glass. We're not going to glue it down. We're going to connect it. We're going to install the operating system. We're going to make sure everything's good to go. Once it's up, running, everything's good to go, then we're going to seal it. We don't want to close it down and then something comes up. These hard drives, whether you get a brand new drive or a used one, or whatever you get, test them, make sure they're good. So you don't want to throw a drive in there, install the operating system, and then have to disassemble the thing again. So I'm going to jump over to clean up that glass, the LCD. Shoot a little video of that over there for you. So here's the LCD, and this is going to be you can see here the other side of the foam. On this side, I already took it off. There, you can see the start there. So just you don't want to scratch this glass, so you just want to get, plastic spudger. Drop my spudger trying to record. You can't afford a cameraman yet, right? So just get up a little corner like that, and it'll just come right off. Again, be careful, but should just come right off, like almost like that, right? You got another little piece there. Usually the whole thing will just come right off.
So see, it comes up really clean. Just got this one right here. Again, you do want to scratch this back. Use a little plastic spudger, something soft. It's just a matter of getting that little tip up. Enough to grab it. So it's clean. Alright guys, so we're good to go. We're going to put this cover back on. We got the other one cleaned up. And so we're good to go there. We're gonna pop the screen back on. We're gonna go the lying down route. Got a couple of tapes that we're gonna be using to hold the screen in place. Right, so we're not taking these tapes off. We're going to put it in place, make sure it boots up, all that good stuff, and then afterwards we'll tape it down. So you want to align it down at the bottom. To put one of these just to kind of hold it in place, make sure that doesn't just like slip off. Gonna hold it there, and we're gonna connect it. Connection, I think it is easier from the top. Might actually do it from the top. Yeah, because here the visibility is pretty crappy. Yeah, might just do it from the top down. Yeah. Right there. one in and get the other flex. Looks good. So that's why I put these here, because you don't want this moving out of place. And crank it up, make sure everything's good to go, and then once everything's confirmed, tested, then you're just going to peel these off and glue it. This, you can see, is already booting up. I had already previously installed the OS on there, so normally here you would just reinstall your OS, run a test on the unit, make sure everything's good to go. Which in this case it is. Run all your testing, make sure it's good. We'll come back to that. Hey guys, so we actually wrapped it up. I wound up putting on the screen and didn't record that. So, but we got the gist of it. We had already had it on. All you needed to do was what we did. I mean, you could just take it back off, peel it, and the first thing you do is put it in from the bottom. Align it on both sides, right? So you have the screen bottom first, align both sides, and basically just close it up. You're gonna pull those little tabs out, and it's gonna close up, and you're good to go. And I just, press all the sides, and that's pretty much it. So that covered this iMac right here. We got the OS installed, and it's good to go. And that's what's going on today at PC 911.